only knew about Jasmine in hindsight, but my friend Stacy knew her pretty well.
Jasmine came to our Fun in the Sun parties at the Playboy Mansion, and that's where I met her. I used to date Hugh Hefner as one of his girlfriends, and I lived at the mansion. When I was a girlfriend, Holly Madison was the main girlfriend, and it was fun.
Stacy Burke is a close friend of mine. She'd been going to mansion parties for a long time, and even after she stopped dating Hef, kept coming up there as a friend.
Playmates, girlfriends, or some girls that have found attractive that were allowed to come to Fun in the Sun would come around in their bikinis, and we would just have a pool party.
The women who would be invited to the Fun in the Sun parties had to fit a certain beauty standard. Hef looked over Polaroids of women to see if he thought they were, measuring up to be a pool party girl.
Jasmine loved being at the Playboy Mansion. She fit right in. She was tan, she was blonde, big boobs, perfect Playboy type.
The camera loved her. She wanted the role, and she went after it.
You would think she'd be stuck up, but she was not. She was very sweet, very soft-spoken, and very nice and courteous.
In the mid-2000s, Playboy was definitely more than just a magazine. It was seen as a lifestyle, a brand of parties. The Playboy golf tournaments were kind of like a regular golf tournament, but more fun. There were tons of women hired to work the events. They would call the Playboy Girls of Golf.
Our Girls of Playboy Golf were the hostesses of the event. And Jasmine became one of our Girls of Playboy Golf in 2004. To be a really good hostess, you have to know how to have fun with somebody, make them feel special. And it's not always about the most gorgeous woman in the world. It's not about that. If you have no personality, nobody's going to think you're something special. They had to be somebody who was very personable, charming, and who could entertain and host big events. They had to know how to represent the brand. And, Jasmine was very personable. We usually had about 35 events across the United States with several thousand golfers and really thousands of girls. And the girls were fantastic. And people could actually get a taste of Hef's life. When we went on the golf course, we weren't quiet on the course. We had DJs, we had games and fun. And there are some guys that never took their golf clubs out of their cart.
Just like at every hole, there was like a booth where women were handing out shots.
Jasmine definitely knew that, she was a very beautiful girl, but she had a smile, right? And so with that smile, she could charm you. And if she's having a great time, all our clients are having a great time. Everybody's having fun. After about a year of actually being one of the Girls of Playboy Golf hostesses, we asked her if she would like to help coordinate the Girls of Playboy Golf for our events in Las Vegas, in LA, and she jumped right on that.
Jasmine Fiore was brought up outside of Santa Cruz, California, in a small town called Monte Dune. She was an only child, but she wasn't a silver spoon kid or a trust fund kid by any stretch of the imagination. Her father left her mother when she was 9 years old, leaving her mother limited resources to raise her alone. And she was somewhat of a tomboy. She went on a race car expedition across the country. She rode horses with the best of the cowboys. She was one ambitious, fun-loving young woman. But she had her sights set far outside of Bonnie Doon. By 2006, she was splitting her time between Vegas and LA. And once she was entrenched enough and savvy enough in the modeling business, the world was pretty much her oyster, just waiting for her to crack it open.
Jasmine is probably the type of woman who was told, since she was an adult, you look like you should be in Playboy. And I think Jasmine, like a lot of other women, probably saw working the parties or working as a girl of golf as a stepping stone to something bigger, like a pictorial in the magazine.
To be a playmate, it's a ticket to the highlight. Jasmine saw that all of a sudden things happen. You meet people. You're doing things that you never would do if you were from a small town. All of a sudden, you're getting invited to places. You're going out at nightclubs, places that you'd have to wait in line. You walk right in.
Jasmine had the typical California girl look. She was tall with a beautiful body. Usually that was the type of look that Hef really liked for the centerfolds.
But Jasmine understood that, you know, a centerfold, it's rare. It's 12 a year, and that's it.
Nonetheless, she still had ambitions to become a Playboy centerfold and did submit portfolios of photos.
When Jasmine was auditioning to be a playmate in the early 2000s, it was a very competitive time. There were so many women, thousands and thousands a month submitting photos to be a centerfold. And even if Jasmine didn't make it as a centerfold, there were still a lot of doors open for her within the Playboy world.
And somebody that they may want to be a brand spokesperson, yeah, she had all those attributes and traits, and that possibility was always there. When Jasmine became one of our coordinators at Playboy Golf, she'd heard me make this speech before. Hey, you're gonna meet a lot of people. You have to be careful. You have to be able to understand that, you know, not everybody is who they say they are. When you're in the safety of our Playboy party, we can ensure that you can have the best of times and still be safe. But if you decide to venture out, we can't stop you from doing that, but we can't control what happens. You can't trust everybody. You can't.
Your question was about mutilation. Yes, the fingers and teeth were removed.
As soon as the coroner's office gave us the name of Jasmine Fuhr, we ran in our systems to see if she was reported missing, and that's when we found out she had actually been reported missing on the Saturday that we found her body.
At that point, LAP contacts us, and we learn that she's married to Ryan Jenkins.
According to the missing persons report that Ryan Jenkins filed, he made comments to them like she's been missing since August 14th, the day before we found the body. As soon as we know about Ryan Jenkins and that he is the person who reported Jasmine Fuhr missing, we are frantically trying to get a hold of him. We get his phone number off the report, so we know it's his phone, and we are calling and calling, and he's just not picking up the phone for us. When you're looking at a homicide, you're always gonna look at the husband. Doesn't mean it's the husband, but we gotta talk to him. We gotta eliminate him just like we eliminate everyone else. The missing persons detective with the LAPD actually got a hold of Jenkins and told them, yeah, I reported her missing, but I gotta get back to Canada because I have visa issues. I thought it was pretty strange that he reports his wife missing and now he's leaving because of visa issues.
We dug it a little deeper, and we learned that he was in a reality TV show, Megan Wants a Millionaire.
This was months before the murder of Jasmine Fuhr.